Today in the Spare Tech Room, we're going to be taking a look at a handheld gaming device that will play just about every retro video game you can imagine. And it's all for well less than 200 bucks. That's right, let's go ahead and do a walkthrough and overview of the Anbernic RG556. What's up, my dude? Your friendly neighborhood Tony here, and welcome to the Spare Tech Room, where I try to channel the power of hyperfixation to hopefully help you make better tech choices. Now, if you're not already super familiar with the whole handheld retro gaming market, with something like the Anbernic RG556, you're able to take all of the different emulators and ROMs for the games that you grew up playing, whether that's going all the way back to the NES, the Super Nintendo, or some older Atari systems, right up to PS2, GameCube, 3DS, Nintendo Wii. Something like this device will be able to play all of those games in one location and, like I said, less than 200 bucks. So let's go ahead and jump on over to the table. I'm going to give you a top-down view and give you a full unboxing and my initial impression of this device. I'll explain a little bit about why I decided to go with this. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want to see it after this, the next few days, I'm going to spend setting this thing up and playing all the different games on it, kind of testing it out. So if you want to see my full opinions after that, definitely leave a comment below and I'll make sure I do that video next. All right, onto the table. Okay, and here we are. We're about to unbox the Anbernic RG556. Now, right off the bat, the first thing you're going to notice here is the packaging. It's, not terrible, but it's nothing too crazy. It's pretty straightforward. This is just a white box with an outline of the device itself, some model number information, but you can tell they really haven't spent a ton of money on the packaging. But if I'm being honest, I don't really care if they spend a lot of money on the packaging when it comes to a more budget device. It's really, I prefer it if they spend the money on making the device itself better. And as long as the packaging is decent, it's going to get thrown into a closet anyway, so I don't really care. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open. Now, again, I went with the black model, so let's go ahead and open this up. This slides right off. Set that to the side. Oh, we got a little thank you card here. So a little thank you from Anbernic. Looks like they're just saying thanks for your purchase. If you need any information or assistance, they have people working 24 hours on that, so that's kind of cool. I'll go ahead and put that to the side here. Then there's a little foam protector on top, and of course your device in this little plastic bag here. So we'll pull that out here. Is there anything else in here before we get going? Oh, underneath there is. Oh, okay. We've got a screen protector, it looks like, so I'll definitely get that set up. Some wipes and a little instruction booklet underneath. Oh, and this is probably a charger. So let's see, what kind of cable does it come with here? Let's crack that open. And it's probably just a typical USB-C to USB-A type cable. Nothing crazy. It's not super heavy duty, but I'm sure it'll be just fine. So that's good. That's nice that they come with that in the box. So we'll set that to the side as well. And let's just clean this all up and look at the actual device. I'll give you my first impressions. Okay, and here we are, and I hope this looks okay. Again, I went with the black model. There is the transparent blue model available as well, but I had seen some issues with particularly the backlighting on that and the screen itself. You had to go in and adjust the color temperature on the screen, and so I just didn't want to have to mess with that. And also, I kind of like a more stealthy device. I don't want something that's going to draw a lot of attention, even though I'll tell you what, I was just at the airport recently and I was playing Pokemon on my Retroid Pocket, and I had a couple people just randomly come up to me and be like, what is that? What are you playing? So these things are going to get attention one way or the other, but I went with the black model. And right off the bat, my first impressions of this is it feels really good in the hand. The ergonomics here are pretty top notch. I've messed around with a few different devices. I've got it right here. I've got my Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, and this thing, excuse the fact that it's like super dusty right now, but this thing is not very ergonomic at all. It really feels like just a slate of plastic with buttons on it. And so even though I do love this and I enjoy playing with it, it's not something that I'm going to be using for a number of hours on end. But with something like this Anbernic RG556, I can hold on to this all day, and I feel like it's going to feel great in the hand. So let's go ahead and go through the entire device. I'll just give you my impressions on everything right off the bat. The first things you're going to feel are these thumbsticks, and I've heard kind of mixed reviews on the thumbsticks. Right now, myself, just kind of messing around with them, they have a very short throw to them. So if I'm going to grab my Retroid here, let me just grab that. The thumbsticks here, yeah, they definitely move a fair bit more. They're similar. They're both kind of like those Switch style thumbsticks, so nothing crazy there, but This feels a little less range of motion. Now the face buttons themselves, right off the bat, I can tell are much more comfortable than the ones that are on this Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. These are just like little tiny nubs, whereas these are well-rounded. They are a little loose. I don't know if you can tell, but here, let me get close to my mic. They're kind of as you just run your finger across them, they click around a bit. And I'm not applying any pressure. I'm just rubbing my finger across the top. So they are a little jangly, a little loose there. Let me move this out of the way. So yeah, the face buttons themselves, they're a good size. I like that. I like the give on them. They're not super clicky or anything like that, which is going to be really good for if you're trying to play this in bed and you don't want to make a lot of noise and you don't want to wake your partner. So that's good. I like the bounce back on them. I don't love that they're a little noisy just to the touch. The D-pad has a good feel to it as well. It's not too loose or anything. It's got that kind of membrane bounce back. So again, not clicky or anything like that. So I like that. And your finger kind of rubs across it well. It's not going to get caught up or anything like that. And it's not like overly sharp. So decent face buttons there. You've got select and start at the bottom right here. That's a good place for that. I know for me on the Retroid, they have start and select up top, which I didn't love. I know they moved that on the Retroid 4, but I don't have that one. Then you've got the Anbernic kind of menu button here. There's a home and back button right there, which is going to be really good. You have on the top a couple of bumpers. So these are a bit clicky. The triggers, not so much, but these are supposed to be pretty good triggers. I'm excited to check these out in game. So we'll mess around with that a little bit. But yeah, you have clicky bumpers, decent triggers, good size too. Your finger really kind of falls on the trigger. It's not going to fall off or miss the input there at any point. You also have a power button here, which is recessed into the case, and a little volume rocker right next to it. I do worry that maybe these are a little too close together. I wonder if you might have issues accidentally pressing the wrong thing and putting your device into sleep mode. You also have a vent along the top for the fans. And let's see, on the bottom, 3.5 millimeter jack for your headphones, USB-C port. You've got your little slot for your SD card, your micro SD card. So that'll go right in there. On the back, a couple more vents. It looks like it'll be pretty easy to take this thing apart. You've got your kind of screws exposed there, so you can pop this open and make some adjustments to it if you need to. And then, of course, you have this 5.5-inch AMOLED 1080p screen, which is amazing. I mean, honestly, best in class for a device like this, for a device well under $200. For me, I paid $175, which included shipping, and I'll link to that in the description below. I got it off of AliExpress, and it shipped and was delivered to my mailbox in 2 days, I think, 2 or 3 days. So pretty quick shipping, free shipping, and it was $175. So these are great materials for something so inexpensive. And then I'll go ahead and just power it on here for you so you can kind of see what the screen looks like. So let me go ahead and get that going here. There we go. We've got this kind of animated wallpaper in the background there. But yeah, this looks fantastic. It's really good quality screen. I'm not going to dive into the menus or anything like that. If you want to see a full walkthrough of the actual software on the system and maybe a setup guide, I like to use Daijisho as my front end, and I put all the emulators and everything on here. If you want to see a full setup guide for that, let me know in the comments. I'm definitely willing to kind of go through that a bit more. Otherwise, I'm going to mess around with this for the next couple days and give you my thoughts on it after I've had a chance to test out all the different games, all the different emulators, to see how well it does and if it's worth holding on to. But I can tell you right now, just from messing around with this a little bit and kind of getting a feel for the device, I absolutely love the ergonomics here. I love the screen. I'm really excited to mess around with this. I will say I've tried another couple other devices, and just from the ergonomics and the feel of this and the size, this is right up there. I've messed around with the Odin 2, which of course is kind of the cream of the crop, but I didn't love the ergonomics on it. It was a bit heavier and just didn't have quite the same grips. I've also messed around with the Logitech G Cloud, which has probably the best ergonomics of any handheld that I've used personally. Unfortunately, the G Cloud doesn't have a lot of power, so it's not going to play a lot of the GameCube, PS2, that kind of thing. So this might be, a good balance between having power and also having really good ergonomics and a really good screen. So we'll see. I'm going to test it out for the next few days and get back to you in another video. If you have any questions at all about the Anbernic RG556, let me know in the comments below. And of course, like I said, I'll link to where I picked this up for, I believe it was $175 including shipping. So I'll link to that in the description box below. That'll be the first link there. And with all that said, I'll see you next time in the Spare Tech Room. Be good.